Hey you guys, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, then welcome. If you're returning, then welcome back. So I wanted to make sure that I filmed this intro really quick because I realized I did not film an intro during the video. So I wanted to make it now, but this was a really special Lock and Learn. It was our first guy that we've had on our page, so that's exciting. And I really want to just thank Lemaj for being a part of this video. He had so much to share about having locks for the past 15 years, being a black man with locks in America. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this dialogue. It's something that I really hope to continue on this channel. I hope that you guys enjoy this, and let's go ahead and get into it.
You got locks, I wanna learn. Share your journey, it's your turn. You got locks, I wanna learn. LC's, Lock and Learn.
Peace and blessings, everybody. My name is Lemaj. I've had my locks since 2005, and so 15 years. And I'm 32. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, and love basketball, love sports, love boxing, and I love music. I love writing. I love writing music, and I love writing. I write screenplays. I have aspirations of having them produced on silver screens across the world, possibly being in them as well as an actor. And I'm spiritual, I'm a Christian, I practice by faith. And I'm a dope black man working in higher education.
Yes, that's what we need in the world. We need that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lemaj, for being a part of this. I know that this is kind of new for you. You are appreciated. You're the first man to make it to my channel, so woo woo to you. Bringing someone in that's had locks for 15 years, I think that you're going to offer a whole different perspective, and you're kind of representing the black men out there, so that's beautiful, and we're happy to have you. I want to know a little bit about your journey. I know that you said you started 15 years ago and you're 32, so if I know how to do math, I'm gonna say you started when you were 17.
Yeah.
Right, if that's right. So can you just share with us a little bit about the decision as to why you started Locs and what motivated that? And
Absolutely. So listen, okay, so like I said, I love basketball. I played in high school, and my junior year we had a pretty good team, and we had a legit shot at winning the state. We played against some professional level players, some guys who's in the NBA now. Kevin Durant probably being the most prominent of them. Just the way that the scheduling fell. Another team was supposed to play, and we ended up playing. But anyway, so we were pretty good that year, and we lost 5 games. 3 of those 5 games was to the same team. And this specific team, who I won't name, had a specific player who I grew up playing against a little bit. He was a year older than me though, and he was a really good player. He was ranked top 150 in the nation. Yeah, I came out the game towards the end, and we ended up, losing by, a couple of points. And so I was extremely mad. And at that point in time in my life, basketball was, everything. So I come home, I wouldn't do my homework really, but I would watch old tapes. About a week later of sleeping on the couch, because I didn't want to sleep in my bed because that reminded me, I get up, I see my training stuff, so I slept on the couch. And I was like, man, I really shouldn't be this mad. And I don't even think it was my pastor, but somebody at the church was doing a Bible study on Samson.
okay.
Right. And so Samson, the whole story about his strength is in his hair and all of that, So I was like, man, I shouldn't be this mad. I shouldn't give anything that much power over me. So, to help me with my anger over this game, right? And so I started growing my fro at that time.
Okay.
And a few months later, my cousin, who was just getting out of cosmetology school, she started twisting on my hair a little bit at the shop.
Okay.
And, you know, I went to her every week, every other week, get it twisted just to experiment. And then one day I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna keep it. So August 15th, I want to say 2005 is when, you know, she made my, you know, my journey official. So boom, that's how it happened. And I done had it ever since.
So had it not been, I mean, obviously I'm sure that you remember that moment like it was yesterday, and you know how that game went and how you were feeling, but had it not been for those moments, it's possible that maybe you would have started your journey later, or maybe you wouldn't have started at all. So it kind of, in a sense, kind of led you to another journey within your life, within yourself.
Yeah, I probably would have started it later, because let's go back a little bit more. Okay, so like my mom, she had me in high school, when she was in high school. Okay. And so, you know, I grew up seeing whatever she was into at the time. And so in the, you know, early 90s, there was like, that's when hip hop started to break up a little bit. So it's like you had the traditional rap or whatever, then you had like more so just East Coast stuff with just straight bars. Right. Then you had like gangster rap, some of the South stuff, but then you had like the conscious movement that, you know, came and hit for a little bit with like, you know, Leaders of the New School, Queen Latifah, Arrested Development, and you know, Busta Rhymes. And so like when I see their videos like play one day like back to back, I was like, man, like Mom, I want me some Locs.
Yeah.
So she's like, okay, whatever. Yeah. Couple weeks later, you want to go barbershop? I don't want. Yeah. Man, went to the barbershop, and she really didn't want me to have me, is what it was. Yeah. And I get in the chair and dudes talking to me, la 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 la, just talking, hey, you playing basketball? Yeah, I'm playing, la 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 la. And showed me the mirror, and I was like, I said, my hair's gone. I was hurt. Boy, I was hurt.
Oh.
Killed me.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. So
I got it now though.
But you already had it in you, so you knew that at one point that was going to be part of your journey. You just didn't know when. Okay, so you started in 2005. You got them. You're 17. And 17, if I can remember back to that time, you know, boys are starting to date girls. Boys are starting to feel themselves. You know, boys are starting to figure out who they are and who they want to become. And coinciding with that, starter locks, having little short twisties, for some people can create, you know, self-esteem issues, or, you know, all of a sudden you don't have a fade in the lineup anymore. You just have these twists every single day. If you can remember back to that time when you first had them, those first couple of weeks or months, do you remember having any moments of either like regret or like, this is not it, or just any moments, or were you secure? Were you like, I'm so happy I did it, I'm loving it? Like
maybe when I was in middle school, I tried getting twisted in middle school. Okay, sorry, I messed up your thing.
Okay, no, it's okay.
The part, middle school, when I tried some locks.
Okay.
On 2 occasions.
Okay.
And it didn't, you know, it wasn't good at all. You know, I'm thinking I'm gonna be fresh. Yeah, I'm gonna keep my do-rag on all night. I'm gonna get to the school. I'm about to kill the little 7th grade floor. I took the thing off, and somebody was like, "Oh man, it looked like somebody took a condom off his head."
Oh.
I'm like, bro, it's 7:30 in the morning, bro. I gotta 8 hours. So yeah, next day, Mama, take this out. Hey, listen. When I started my locks, I brought a lot of joy to people because, man, hey, I was a class clown. You know what I'm saying? I was probably like one of the top ones in my whole school, regardless of class. So I used to joke people out every day. You know what I mean? And so now when I had locks, woo, all the ones, boy,
yeah.
Hey, that first week, oh, okay, we see you, bro. We see you. Hey, that 3rd week, man, a lot of jokes, boy.
Really?
A lot of jokes. Then girls start joking. I say, hey, hold up. I ride everybody back out. Everybody's like, why don't you just get braids? What made you want to get locks? You know what I'm saying? And I would tell people, I just told you, and they'd be like, bro, that's stupid as hell. Like, what? Like, nah. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no. Okay.
Everybody just ain't, you know what I'm saying, ain't there, you feel me, at 16, 17 years old.
Exactly.
So, it was a lot of jokes, but, you know, I some phone numbers I got.
Okay.
Some I didn't get.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's all that matters. I think it's really just staying committed to yourself and knowing that this is just the beginning. And I think that you and I can both agree, if there are people that are starting their journey right now, or especially if they're young and they're in high school and a really impressionable age, to just stay committed with it, because you will grow to love it if you don't love it yet. But it's more than just a hair journey, at least for me. I can definitely say that. But yeah. Were you taking care of your own hair, or were you having someone else manage your hair for you?
Man, listen. So, okay, I said my cousin Tiffany started my hair off, and so with the starting where I started at, look, I'm gonna grab this because this is what's right here. This is just for instance, I don't smoke, but my hair might have been, you can see, the flame a little bit shorter than that flame on that light. Okay. Right, so you starting it out, you can't really wash it too much, you know what I mean? Like you can kind of like get it wet with some little spray. Right. But you pretty much gotta keep your scalp, oiled up, whatever. Yeah. So I went to her. Let's see, it was August 15th when I started. I didn't go back for a retwist until the week before Thanksgiving.
Okay, so you went. So it had thickened up and frizzed out quite a bit by then. Okay.
It was bad. That's probably why I ain't got too many pictures from back then. I'm being honest.
No, not yet.
It was pretty bad.
Did it ever get to a point where either you were forced to or you chose to start retwisting your own hair? Have you ever retwisted your own hair, or?
Hell no.
Never? Over 15 years?
Never. Cause see my head big, right? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So imagine like a bunch of, what's something else that is, people can probably see a little bit better. Something like this.
Yes.
All over my head.
Yes.
On a big old head like this.
Okay.
Head. You see what I'm saying? So that wasn't an option. It was probably well over 100 of these things.
Right.
In my head. I don't know how many I got, but it was easily more than what it is now. But when it got to that point, it's like, cuz you can't get me. It was like, Mama, you think you can
so your mom would do it. Yeah.
You be doing nails. I mean, you don't think you can, are you doing this? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so then she got on it for a second. Boy, my mom heavy-handed.
Oh, that scalp was tight, huh?
Oh man, it was torture. It was like it waterboarded or something.
Oh no.
It was pretty bad. But yeah, Mama got me together for a few years though.
Thank God for Mama. So if it was up to you, do you think if you were put in a position where you had to retwist your hair, do you think you could do it?
No, not gonna happen.
You would just grow out?
It's just gonna grow out. I'm gonna look like I'm, you know what I'm saying, from in the Caribbean somewhere for real.
At least with the men that I've spoken with that have locks, they don't really manage their own hair. Like majority of them go to someone. Yeah, and I know that a lot of the women I speak with, they'll take on that role sometimes and they'll do their hair here and there. But majority of the guys I speak with, they're just like, no, I don't,
Nah, I can't.
So any recommendations on the products that you use or what has worked, for you throughout these 15 years?
Man, listen, so, okay. What I remember, I'm gonna give you a list of things that I remember that I use. So washing products, Eric Benet was in Essence magazine, quoted in Essence magazine years ago talking about, what's it, Nature's something? Cream of Nature. Okay. They had like a blue top, a red top, and a green top. Okay. I don't get that deep into the product game,
Okay, that's okay.
I remember using the red top. Okay. In a pinch one time, the blue top. Okay. But I used that for years and years. And a girl I was seeing in college who also ended up going to hair school, my freshman year of school of college. She's like, you ain't got to use, the same exact thing all the time. I was like, look, this is what's working.
This is what I know.
So this is what it's gonna be. So right. If you ain't gonna wash it, I'm gonna wash it. Yeah. But I used that for years and years. Okay. And then in recent years, Shea Moisture's co-wash situation. Okay. My brothers out there, people out there that's like me. It's a clear bottle. It got an orange top situation.
Photo right here.
There you go. And what you don't want to do is sit that bad boy upside down, because it's gonna leak out some kind of way. You know,
no.
We don't want tragedy to happen in the shower. And then recently, my little Sugarfoot, she got some natural. It's a Black-owned business that's making like soap and whatnot. And she washed my hair recently with that, and that felt real good.
So throughout these 15 years, I keep going back because that's a long time, and that is commitment right there. So throughout these 15 years, any mistakes that you've made along the way with your hair, or anything that you would want to let anyone else know that has locks so that they can avoid it? Do you have anything like that you want to share?
Most definitely, because I didn't realize that there was a lock community.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Existing, let alone 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was pretty much the only person I knew. I definitely was the only person in my high school that was experimenting with locks. And once I got to college, it was most of the guys that had it in college. They was football players from Florida, having to learn what products to use that work on my hair, learning that your hair texture will change a little bit every couple of years. So I started off using, God bless my mama, she loved me, you know what I mean? But she do nails.
Okay.
She don't do her. She do nails. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of experimentation going on, that first, year 1, year 2 range. Some kind of black putty, something that we use that they probably don't even sell no more. It's terrible. It was a couple bad choices. I'll just leave it at that. But then graduated to the Jamaican mango line. Okay, for some folks that's great, and it smells wonderful.
Right.
It can leave a less than desirable situation on your scalp.
Yeah.
Other folks who have rocking a faux C hair texture. So I would just say, educate yourself. Don't be ashamed or afraid to ask people who have locks, especially people who have similar hair textures, to yours. Hey, what product are you using? DM them or ask them on the street, in the hair store, or whatever. And I didn't make this mistake, but I saw a few guys make the mistake. Right? You want to limit the amount of people that's in your head. I preach right there. That goes a lot of different ways, but limit the amount of people that's in your head. You know what I'm saying? Some people left-handed, some people right-handed. Some people ain't asking you what product you want to use. So yeah, it just be like that sometimes. Those are some things that I would,
That's actually good advice. Yeah, I think that's people will start trying out every loctician there is on the block, and next thing you know, your locks are unraveling when some of them are thinning and you don't know what's going on. So I appreciate it. So for women, specifically for Black women, there's a stereotype that we're very attached to our hair, and that, especially for Black women, that hair can hold a huge value for us, and that it can be a big representation of who we are. There's a lot of stereotypes that go around with Black women and their hair. Do you feel like that same thing can be said for Black men?
Depending on who is beholding Black men in the eye, yes.
Okay.
This is just, we talking about my journey, so this is my perception. Yeah. So when I was going to a former barber and started my my locks, he like, I ain't gonna give you nothing to beep out, but he like, boy, you ain't gonna get no, you know what I'm saying, with this. Okay. Fast forward 2 or 3 years later, and I'm in school and everything and all of that, and he's seen, okay, this ain't a fad, like I'm really here, and he's like, man, youngster, your mama is twisting the hell out of your hair, boy, this look good, boy, hey, don't you ever give up on it, you know what I'm saying? So now you done switch, okay, in my perception, when the onlooker is a certain type of, when the onlooker is a white person who has a position that may be of authority or just higher than me as a Black man, so whether that be an officer or a professor or a boss, it's like sometimes they can find a reason to ask me about my hair,
okay,
or just comment on it.
Okay.
you know, sometimes it's negative, sometimes it's genuine curiosity. But, you know, I feel like Solange owed me some money because I've been telling white folks for a good little minute, don't touch my hair.
Talk about, you work in higher education, so I'm sure that you've been some way affiliated with just white America, white corporate America, you know, just being within that realm. And I would love to know, one, if you even think it has, and if so, in what ways do you think you having Locs has influenced your relationships within white America, whether that's interviewing for jobs, whether that's having the job and your interaction with either your students or your other peers, or whether that's just throughout society in general, you go into the grocery store, whatever that might be. How do you feel like you as a Black man with Locs that has affected you?
Man, it affects me in this way. You know, they say that a lion doesn't concern himself with the opinion of sheep. And so while the lion may not be concerned with that opinion, the lion will ultimately let you know that I'm a lion, whether I got to show my teeth and really, you know, get active with you, or I just got to, you know, run up on you and meet you face to face so you can see that this is who you're dealing with. You're going to be reminded that I'm a lion.
Right.
In the previous role, I used to work in local government in the mayor's office, and as a communicator, and so like speech writing and stuff like that. So I had to sit down with different people every day. You know, they come in the room and where I might work exclusively with the mayor on a daily basis. I might see somebody once a month, you know, in the same at the same table as him. And so they might come in a little like, oh, so this is the new guy, you know, and give me that type of energy. And I had to remind them, okay, this table stands at 5 feet,
right,
and is, you know, 8 feet across, and it's round, for a reason. And we're at the same table. Right. No matter how many degrees you have, I have just as much, if not more. Right. No matter how much experience you have, I was hired here for a reason, and I'm here to make you look good. So we can go back and forth, or we can, you know, let the rubber meet the road, and you can trust me to do my job, like I'm gonna trust you to do yours. Likewise, getting that same, having to check people with that same energy in higher education. A lot of the times, believe it or not, it's not necessarily, with white folks, I can check them one time and it's like, okay, we good. They know they halfway scared to even say something.
You're right.
You know, some of the trippy energy be with the students that I work with. I'm at I won't say the name, but I'm at a large, predominantly white institution. And I work really close with students. And so sometimes some of them can get on some recklessness, and I had to remind them, okay, I might look a little younger than what I am, but, you know, let's get this respect thing in check, because I don't want you to thinking it's cool for me to talk to him this way, therefore it's cool for me to talk to all people this kind of way. It's like, nah, we gotta, you know, because we are still Black people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We have to know and respect our surroundings and understand there's a way to take up space in different type of environments. So I have that kind of conversations with students on a regular basis as well. And it comes from, he Black, he got Locs, he young, he cool. Like, yeah, but you ain't about to just, you know,
so a level.
Me know any kind of way, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, and I could, not relating to my Locs, but just being a Black woman and being a Black woman that's 5 foot, and then me working in higher education, I can definitely empathize and relate to having to check those students. Especially with me, it's very easy for someone to think I'm 17, 18 years old. That's been my whole life. No matter how old I am, I always look like I'm 10 years younger than that. So working, especially with my Black youth, that's normally the children that I would work with when I was in education, but having to remind them, like, yes, we're family, we're here, you know, at the end of the day, I'm marching for you, I'm fighting for you, but regardless, in my classroom, in this space, there's a level of respect, whether, you know, regardless on what type of relatability you think we have right now. So I could definitely understand that one. So moving into my next question, and this is something else that you touched on a little bit, going back to when you first were telling your mom that you wanted Locs. So we're going to kind of go back to that time a little bit. So I was thinking, and I can really only speak at least for the West Coast, you know, where I'm at in California. When it comes to Black men, there's kind of a assumption that majority of them are going to keep their hair low cut with a fade, a line up. That's what's considered, kept hair. That's what's considered acceptable, at least in the area that I'm in. When there are young boys that might want to step out, that even with myself being a Black woman, I definitely had my family kind of look at me and be like, girl, what are you doing to your hair? Like, you have such beautiful hair. Why are you, why are you putting these little twists in it? Why are you letting it just lock up like that? So I definitely faced some backlash a little bit from my family and having to defend my decisions with my hair, which honestly, if we really get into it, our hair is supposed to lock. That's what it's supposed to be doing, but that's a whole other conversation. But just trying to defend that to my family, just trying to have them understand that, this is what I want to do, and there's still beauty within this. So flipping that from your perspective, going back to when you first wanted locks, did you face any, I guess, negative opinions? Or, you talked about your barber a little bit and him saying, why are you doing this? But within your internal family, were there any pushback with you getting locks, or people saying that, you shouldn't do it or you didn't look right with them?
Absolutely, man. Yes. It's all caps. Yes. My granddaddy, my granddaddy, of course, my mama was always kind of a, you sure? You know what I'm saying? Until it came time to take some senior pictures, which, I seen them the other day. I was like, Lord help me. God help me. That was cool pictures, but looking back, it's like, nah. Yeah. My pastor said something one day in the middle of a sermon. It was a joke, but it was like, I was like, all right, man, okay, move on. Let's pose. So, and then of course the homies, you know what I mean? Because all of my guys that I was, real tight with in high school. So of course my homies, a lot of them, and all of them in high school had waves or extremely long braids. Okay. Because that was the era, and I'm the guy that decided to be different. Right. Right.
How did you maintain your confidence throughout the time when you're having either your family or your pastor or your peers kind of shoot their shots and try to come at you? What was it that made you want to keep your hair that way?
Man, because it was like, I just always wanted it. And I knew it was a high probability of me going away from home for college, if I could get in somewhere. And I didn't want it to be a situation where I got to find a barber and all of that, I've only had like 3 barbers my whole life, so yeah, you don't just jump from chair to chair. Right. But I just wanted it because I looked at it like, okay, when I was a kid, a little kid, my hair got cut off. I can start again, and then I got to middle school and that went tragically wrong. Right. And then so it's like, man, now, I'm gonna get somewhere, and the only way that people gonna know my face is with little starter locks. So it ain't gonna be like I'm used to seeing you like this or whatever. Right. So that's fair. Hey, the craziest thing was when I had my fro. Okay. This is at the time when like Boosie and Lil Webby was just now gaining like national attention. Mm-hmm. And in 04, Webby was like hot. Mm-hmm. And our girls would be like, as I had on like a 6X tall tee or something, and I'm 125 pounds at the time. The girls would be like, you look like Webby, you trying to be Webby. And for some, that was a little bit more ratchet than others. It was cool. Then I come back around and my hair is twisted. They like, oh, boy, stop. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but wait a minute, baby. What So yeah, the ladies definitely wasn't happening for real. That's funny because everything you say leads into my next question. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the ladies. So before we put that out there, ladies, if you're watching, he has a whole girl, so do not try to shoot your shot right now. But back when you were single, back in that time, how do you feel like locks affected your dating life? Do you feel like it attracted more women? Do you feel like it filtered out some women that, maybe weren't into that? Or just what was your experience being a Black man with locks dating? So, funny. That's a funny question. Okay, so my first, well, I don't know how to. Somebody gonna be mad when they see this, but like my college girlfriend, my freshman year, she was a hairdresser, going through her school. You know, so for her it was cool to be experimenting on my hair and doing different techniques, palm rolling, whatever. Because my hair was still in that baby stage. Right. You know, so that was cool. We ain't last too long, thank God. That was a blessing. But in disguise. And you know, God bless and all of that. But that went how it went. So after that I was pretty much single all through college, probably till I got to grad school. Okay. And a lot of older women were attracted to me for some reason.
Okay. Maybe the Locs made you look like more mature, or like, you know, maybe it made you look like you had a little bit more sense or something. I don't know. Maybe,
because it was still a lot of guys wearing braids like in 07, 08. You know what I mean? And so there's always that stigma with older women. I think the stigma with braids is, okay, you've been in jail or you on your way to jail, just got out of jail type situation. You know, just stereotyping guys. And then here I come with, you know, these locks budding and sticking all over the place and talking like I got a little sense. You know.
It's worked out.
Yeah, that was cool. And then as my hair started getting longer, more like artsy type of women became more attracted. So like painters and poets and singers.
Wow, that's crazy. So that's actually really interesting. That's something I'm probably going to bring up to some of my other guy friends. But I would like to see if that's similar for them and if they've kind of experienced the same transition in the type of women that they attracted as their hair started to transform. So that's interesting. Okay, so another
hold on. It's the biggest one though.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know why. Because I'm totally just not, you know, it just ain't in my, you know, my taste.
Okay.
White girls.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
I'm like, why are you
look like closer to Switzerland.
Get away from me.
I am not surprised. That doesn't surprise me at all, actually. Yeah, so I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that one. Do you feel like with you growing out your hair and you going through that journey of, you know, loving your hair, loving your locks, do you think that, because you spoke about the type of women that were becoming attracted to you, do you think that as your journey progressed, it was changing the type of women that you were attracted to?
No.
No, so you were always attracted to the same type of woman throughout your entire journey, and you weren't looking for maybe someone that was more natural because you were natural or anything like that?
No, not at all. I just like fine Black women, preferably bow-legged, and you know, with, you know, 20, 21 stretch marks, you know, that's just, you know, that's all you need. And yeah, pretty simple there. Yeah.
Good. That's
the one evolutional piece that I can attest to is, again, my mama did nails and always got her nails done. So, and her friends were the same way. And so again, she had me in high school. So I grew, if Fashion Over was a thing back then, that's, my mama would have been like one of them type of girls where everything was together.
Right.
You know, go to get her hair done on Thursday, nails done Friday morning, and, you know, new outfit on Saturday. Right. You know, switch out of that outfit into something else on Saturday night, that type of, you know what I'm saying? The original hot girl.
Right, right, right.
But so growing up, seeing that, you know, type of a thing, that's what I just thought that all girls was like at around that age, you know what I mean, early 20s. So I was like, hey, why is, hey, baby, you ain't, you know what I'm saying, your ends, you know what I mean, or your brows, you know, what you, and then so I just had that learning curve as a man that, okay, just because your mama do this don't mean that everybody does. So once a couple of close home girls, you know, checked me on that, it was like, okay, well, cool. Well, yeah, because I don't get my line up every week neither, you know what I'm saying?
Right, that part. You're already 15 years in, so do you see yourself having these for life? Do you see yourself ever switching it up? Obviously, you cannot predict the future, but if someone was to ask you right now, with your lock journey, do you see them being on your head forever?
Yes. And as I said like earlier, I'm an artist, and I was in high school for theater as well. So I eventually do want to make it back to the stage and make that transition into film as well. So obviously, like, you have to cut your hair for certain roles and whatnot. I wouldn't do that for the stage. I would do it for film though. But the main reason I would cut my hair is when I have a little boy someday. When I take him to get his first haircut, I'll cut my hair with him, you know, and I'm letting her at his first few haircuts and this line come in, because you don't want God, Lord, please don't let him have no Stephen A. Smith where he's all the way back here. You know, if you do, he ain't mine. I'm just playing back here. I'm just playing. But at his first few haircuts, you know, we start our, you know, a Loc'd journey together. So.
Oh, that would be sweet. That would be really nice. That's funny, because that's actually my last question on here, before I let you just share any final points. But I was speaking with a couple of my friends that have locks, and we got into the discussion of kids and if we want kids, and then when we do have them, would you force your child to have locks? Would you let that be a decision of their own? You know, would you not want them to have them? And I kind of took the stance on I would want that to be a decision of my child. I wouldn't want them to just be forced into having locks. I wouldn't just I wouldn't put it in their hair at 2-3 years old. I would want them to come to me and say, you know, I want my hair like mommy's. Can you do my hair like that? Whereas some of my peers were like, you know, the minute that they have hair, we're twisting it up. Like, you know, they're going to have locks by the time they're 3-4 years old. So I would love to know if, you know, you and Babe, you guys have spoke about that. And if so, like, what's your stance on bringing locks into the new generation?
Whenever he or she can start forming words enough to make sentences that says I don't want them and mean it, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you would put them in their hair, or would you? So you would put it in their hair, and then if they say they don't want it, you would cut it off?
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. That's fair. All right. Well, I really appreciate you hopping on this and, you know, dedicating your time to be a part of this. And I think that people watching this are really going to appreciate having a male perspective here and kind of sharing your journey of what that's been like for you. So are there any final things that you just want to share with anyone that's watching about Locs or about your journey, or, you know, as a Black man with Locs, just any final notes?
Most definitely. So, remember that your Loc'd journey is your Loc'd journey from whoever you are at that starting point. It's you, and you can't let people who don't really know the true reasons why you're doing it, you know, discourage you from that. You know, people go on Loc'd journeys for all types of reasons. Mine was to help me with you know, get better with my anger and my patience. I figured the longer my hair got, the better my patience got, the more, you know, I was able to take a stronghold over my anger wouldn't take a stronghold over me. So that was my reason. And just dare to be different. But before I'm a partner and a lover, before I'm a son or a brother, before I'm you know, a rapper or a writer, before I'm a deacon, before I'm a Christian, when you see me, you see a Black man.
Yes.
Point blank, period. You know what I mean? And for those who may be, you know, vision impaired, when you hear my voice, you know I'm Black. Right. You know what I mean? Whether I got my phone voice on or not, you know I'm Black when I get to talking that talk. So I just feel like, you know, our hair is an extension of who we are and our soul. And whether you want to color your stuff, I ain't coloring mine. Whether you want to color your stuff, you know, or tip it or whatever, the way that you style it, you know, just be organically you, and just be true to yourself. And, you know, it's going to come out in the other way, you know. So my expression comes out of my music. It comes out in my writing. It comes out in the way that I wear my clothes. And it comes, you know, my self-expression comes out in the way that I wear my hair. So for all of you who's in corporate America, or working around a whole bunch of, you know, of the other folks that may not believe what you believe, who may not even want you in their space, continue to take up that space and just be who you are, unapologetically. And that's it. And let your hair be a part of it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Lemaj. And if you're watching this and you want to stay connected with Lemaj and you want to follow his journey, you want to connect more with his music, more with his acting, more with his screenwriting, how can they stay connected with you?
So it's Lemaj, Lemaj, everywhere. That's on Apple, that's on Spotify, that's on Instagram, YouTube. Lemaj in all caps. If it ain't in all caps, then it is a cap because it ain't me. But it's Lemaj everywhere. And if you see it spelled out, ITS Lemaj, that's the handle. But typing in Lemaj, Lemaj will get you right to me every time as well.
Thank you everyone for watching this. If you enjoyed this, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I will have more future LC's Lock and Learn videos. Hopefully we'll bring in more men. That'd be great to welcome them into this space, but I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.